Okay, hello. This is just a video response to a video that I got sent as a response by TeeMayneTV. That's his channel. He does movie reviews, and the particular movie review he did was X-Men First Class, in which he said that the storyline of X-Men First Class was the best, second best in a comic book movie ever to The Dark Knight, and that got us thinking about just comic book movie stories in general, really, because usually they're just sort of like a plot device to link some action scenes together, and rarely are they anything good. Could they really stand on their own if they didn't have the relatable characters that you like from the comic books, or all the action, or just like great acting, which you get with these high movies? Because when you think about it, the Dark Knight alone takes itself really seriously, which I don't really like. It's a pretty mess of a storyline, really. There's a lot going on, there's plot holes all over, so I have to disagree. This is just my opinion, that The Dark Knight or X-Men First Class have the best storylines ever. This does bring me on to what I think is a comic book movie that does have one of the best storylines ever. Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. Now this that doesn't ever seem to get mentioned as much as like the live action films, but I'm glad to see that a lot of people are mentioning it, because it's one of the best storylines ever, and in a comic book movie at least. And it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's not in a real world setting. It's still in a fantasy setting. It's supposed to be set in the 40s like Batman, but it's got that modern edge to it with all the gadgets and stuff. It's basically I don't want to outline it, because I'll just be going over what the animated series does, which was fantastic, by the way. That's what got me into Batman as a kid when I was 3 and 4, and ever since, basically, that being on the telly, and that and the Tim Burton film. But yeah, the storyline, they compare it to a really a storyline people say that is really great, but I didn't think it was that good. Batman Begins, the most overrated film ever, possibly even more overrated than The Dark Knight. Yes, that film has huge critical acclaim and praise for its storyline and its origins, and it's so perfect, and I didn't get that. I was very, very disappointed with Batman Begins. However, this film takes on a similar origin story in it. The basic outline is that there's this phantasm. If you don't know, there's this phantasm going around killing tons of mob leaders, and they don't know who it is, so Batman gets blamed, and so Batman basically has to find out who the phantasm is and clear his name, otherwise the police are going to arrest him. But it goes deeper than that. It actually flashes back to before Batman was Batman. He was just Bruce Wayne, meeting a girl, Beaumont, was it? Yep, that's her name, Andrea Beaumont. That's who it is. Yeah, this has gone on way too long. Anyway, he meets this girl while he's Bruce Wayne, but he still has vowed to his family to fight crime. So there's some amazing emotional scenes when he's at this grave in the rain, and he's giving these long speeches, and they don't come off pretentious or forced or stupid like they would in the Batman Begins. I mean, it's so perfect the way that it's done. And the turning point in the film is when Batman actually becomes Batman, because you've seen him try to fight normally, just as a clothed person as Bruce Wayne, because if he has all the skills, and he has the fighting and possibly the gadgets. He has a few gadgets that he uses, but he fails the first time round, and he's like, well, they weren't scared of us. I couldn't get the drop on them. I wasn't better than them. I should be. And there's a point in the film where he finds the Batcave, or a cave just full of bats. Obviously, it's very similar to Batman Begins, in fact, where all the bats are going around him. Only it's like 15 years earlier or something. Well, probably not 15, 12 years earlier, so this film beats it for originality. He comes up out of the cave, and Alfred has a message from Andrea Beaumont saying that she has to leave him, and that's the turning point where he becomes Batman. And there's one scene where he just turns around and he puts the cowl on for 1 second, and it's possibly the most amazing scene in any Batman film ever. I mean, it sums up what Chris Nolan was trying to do for half a film in about a minute and a half. Just, it's brilliant. I'm speechless. You just have to watch it, but that's a brilliant story done well. That doesn't say tons of stuff and doesn't have this like, oh, how can we get the story better? Oh, we'll have to make it real world. No, you can make it fantasy and have a brilliant story. Just involve the characters and have proper realistic dramatic elements, unlike this over the top dialogues that the Nolan Batmans had and stuff. And I like the Nolan Batmans. Pretty much the Dark Knight was a real welcome return since the crappy Schumacher films, and the very disappointing Batman Begins. But this storyline is one of the best. I think it could hold up if it wasn't a Batman film. This storyline could almost hold up, but then again, it wouldn't make much sense. Him turning into Batman. Yeah, the only criticism I have with the story is it builds up and it builds up, but at the end, because it's a cartoon and obviously he can't actually kill the Joker. Spoiler, but never mind. He cannot actually kill the Joker, so it feels all very anticlimactic. Which all this stuff happens, and he's caused tons of pain to people, and you want to see him kill him, but he doesn't. So that's the only criticism that I have, because it's from the cartoon. He can't kill the Joker, which sucks, basically. But that's sort of like how Batman is. He can never kill the Joker, and that's another good part that the Nolan Batman's got. So that's my opinion of the story of, well, that's my opinion of the best comic book story I think to date. Dark Knight Rises. If you can top that, try, but I seriously doubt it. Okay, thanks for watching.